sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Cimnanya. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying massive shout out to every one of you for all the love and support you all give me here. Thank you so much. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about this white woman calling out a white woman with biracial kids. All right, and it looks like this is not going great with so many black men. Some people concord with what she was saying, and a lot of people are actually canceling her. Canceling her, right? And she was telling white people, especially white women, to unpack their internalized racism and anti-blackness, because some of them do not unpack it, and then also like pack that to their children, and their children is growing and probably having biases, or not growing great, or being anti this, or not even preparing them very well for the world. Because biracial kids, the stereotype and all that, where some of them think like, why am I like this, and why am I like that? This is what parents especially should get their kids ready for. But man, oh dear, it is not going well with so many black men. They actually came in mass to like cancel her, and I don't know what she said wrong. You all are gonna listen to this and let me know if she said something that is wrong. Yeah, I think that is where we're gonna start from. So with that being said, I'm just gonna roll this clip and come back to talk about it. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. So here we go. I am rolling the.
I'm gonna need y'all white parents of biracial kids to listen in real quick. I'm gonna give you fair warning, this might be an uncomfortable conversation, but it's necessary. A lot of y'all's kids have complexes and identity issues, and it's not because they have a white parent. It's because a lot of y'all chose to have biracial kids before you unpacked your internalized racism and anti-blackness. It's because a lot of y'all have biracial children without learning enough about the black experience to guide your child through a black experience. To guide them through a world that is inherently anti-black. Cutting off your racist family members is not all it takes to raise a biracial kid. In fact, that doesn't even come close to the bare minimum. You can have the best intentions for your children while still causing them collective harm. And I first noticed this when my daughter was an infant and I started joining Facebook groups for parents of biracial kids. These white moms would have the best intentions, yet end up on Facebook crying about how their child was saying they didn't want to be black and they hated being black. And because these parents did not take the time to educate themselves whatsoever on systemic racism and anti-blackness on a level that they would be able to appropriately raise a biracial child, they were on the internet crying for help instead of helping their kid. You cannot shield your child from experiencing anti-blackness in the world, but you can equip them to deal with it. I get told pretty frequently that my daughter will be mistaken for a black mom biracial, and I'm going to explain to you why. First and foremost, she is not raised in an anti-black environment. A lot of black men, white women relationships are inherently anti-black, due to the fact that the relationship is based on fetishization and the hatred of black women instead of mutual love. The way that I look at it, the world is constantly going to be hurling anti-blackness at my child. And instead of acting like it does not exist, I have been equipping my child since birth to be able to handle said anti-blackness through radical self-love and positive identity. My child has at a young age told me that she wanted to be white to match her family. Right then and there, we had a very long conversation about anti-blackness and racism at 4 years old, and how her blackness was the most beautiful part of her. She made a comment one time about her baby doll, her black baby with coily hair, being ugly. Again, we had a long discussion about colorism, texturism, and racism. After that day, that baby did not leave her hip. You cannot just be not teaching your kid to be anti-black. You have to be preparing them for an anti-black world. You have to ensure that you are not feeding your child a complex towards other black people. That you're showing them how to cherish and uplift their community. See, biracial kids with white parents can be raised to be pro-black, but many aren't. And that is because their environment and their role models are not pro-black. If you don't want your child to have identity issues, it starts with you. It is wholeheartedly possible for you to educate yourself. A lot of y'all simply choose not to. Do better. I'm gonna need y'all white parents of biracial kids to listen in real quick. I'm gonna give you fair warning. This might.
So I got 2 points to make off of this video because it just didn't. None of it really made sense to me. The first thing is you avoid a lot of this, or at least you deal with this a lot better when you raise your children in the church and your children are brought up in Jesus and they're taught about God and everything that has to do with that. Because at that point, color, race, ethnicity, none of that crap matters. The only thing that should matter is, are you raising a decent child? Are you raising a person that's going to contribute to society? And most importantly, are you raising a child of God? At the end of the day, that's all that matters. Everything else that this woman was saying made very little, if any, sense, because it sounds like to me like you're trying to teach your kid to be a victim before other people make them a victim in order to keep them from being a victim. Like, it didn't make sense at all. Like, why would you want your kid to grow up with this identity crisis? And even better, let's say you teach your kid all of this stuff. Oh, Pete, the world's going to hate you because you're mixed. The world's going to do this because you're mixed, or whatever the case may be. What are you going to do when people don't do that? What are you going to do when you get to a point in your life where those people are not around your kid? And if they are, it's a onesie and twosie. Like, it's few and far between, because there's a good portion of society that's like that. And I'm speaking on this because I clearly have a mixed race child over there. And I'm not going to raise my kid up to believe and think that because he's part me and part his mom, part black and part white, black is whatever people want to claim it is, that somehow he's going to be an issue in society, or that society is going to have this massive issue with him. As if there aren't millions upon millions of successful people who are mixed race. Like, why do you want to grow your child with this kind of a mindset? Because all you're doing is creating another victim. All you're doing is creating another person who is going to walk around with a chip on their shoulder, or walk around with this horrible identity crisis that was planted by you, the parent. Like, that makes no sense to me at all. Because let's be real, especially if you're over the age of 30, if someone doesn't hate you for your skin color, I promise you, there's thousands of other things that they can find a reason to hate you for. So why should you let color be the one thing that makes your life so much harder when it honestly truly doesn't have to be? Like, and all this systemic crap is, stop listening to social media, like, antagonists that just promote that crap. Just stop.
I'm gonna need y'all white parents of biracial kids to listen in real quick. I'm gonna give you fair warning. This might be.
It is always the suburbanite white liberal women. It's always the suburbanite white liberal chicks. Always. Y'all are bored, so you present boring arguments, bolstering up your supposed white guilt so that what, you can get clout? Because she goes on in the rest of her video to talk about how it's white parents of biracial children that need to unpack their anti-blackness and internalized racism in order to guide those mixed kids through the, quote, black experience. Yes, suburbanite white liberal chick, what is the black experience? Can you define what the black experience is? Because she goes on to act like a movie trailer. In a world of anti-blackness, one white parent rises to the occasion to guide mixed children through the black experience. Hey, y'all sound dumb. Y'all are weird.
A black experience. To guide them through a world that is inherently anti-black.
Imagine teaching a child that the world is just out to get them. But in truth, the world doesn't care about trivial factors such as race. And to be honest, the world doesn't owe you or your child anything. And teaching your child this will give them a sense of undeserved entitlement, and they'll be down a path of misery once they figure out the world does not actually work that way. And thinking the world is out to get you will only breed hatred for the world. And then they'll get angry and start to fight back to get back at the world because they realize that the world doesn't actually owe them anything and doesn't bend to their will. But I'll be honest with you, the world is vastly different when you put your phone down and get off of social media. Because we've allowed the government to divide us by giving us a false sense of belonging in identities that don't matter. And people like this have a deeply internalized self-hatred to think that a black person's image and value only exists within the confines of white approval. But as Pain said in Naruto, hatred only breeds further hatred. Peace out.
I'm gonna need y'all white parents of biracial kids to listen in real quick. I'm gonna give you fair warning. This might be.
I'm just stitching for her video because I think it's super important and a really great conversation. I think it's a conversation that the black community has been having for a very long time, but I think that white moms will not listen to the black community. and seeing someone who looks like them in a similar situation maybe will help. So as a white mother with a black child, I think that you should watch that, and maybe you will receive the message better coming from someone who looks like you. I know the black community has been truly harping on this and talking about this since, the Loving Act, and since forever, whenever that started having mixed children. I think that we will see, as we grow in time, how much work could have been done and how much growing still needs to be done in this specific area, and dealing with a specific niche of mixed children who have white moms, because there is a very big difference. And I know, because I have one. And my mom also had the best intentions, but there was a lot of areas for growth where she could have reached out to somebody of the black community to help with this, and she didn't. And it shaped our whole lives. And I know, like me, born in the 90s, growing up as a mixed kid, and now we're here trying to have these conversations with our parents, and a lot of them don't want to hear it. I think that this conversation needs to be continuing and needs to be had, and the education needs to be there. If you choose to have a child outside of your race, you need to educate yourself. It's so insane to me that that needs to be said, that white people in general, men or women, think that they can have a black child and give them a full experience without educating themselves on black culture. It just shows white privilege all the time. Like, to me, that's just insane. To think that you can take a black child and put them in a white environment and think that that's okay. I cannot stress enough how that's not okay. And I don't fucking understand why it's continuing to happen. It makes me sick. It makes me upset. But yeah, I think her video is really important. And I think that so many videos on here I see all the time. And we just, we need to do better. We need to do better for the children. We need to do better. This conversation can't stop. It needs to keep going. It needs to keep moving forward, so that you don't have kids like me who have to unpack all this trauma throughout their whole life. So we don't need to do that.
I'm gonna need y'all.
Can we stop doing this? That was not rhetorical. Because all the negative connotations that shit everybody's been putting on being black in America is fucking ridiculous. For how hard it is for black folk today to see how far we've come, not only as black people in America, but black people in every industry of this country, is fucking beyond me. And to still hear people on this topic of, you need to teach your kids, especially if they're mixed, the importance of being black in America, is fucking beyond me too. For real, what is this? What is the obsession? Because I can tell you right now, you're not doing a service to your child. Because as a child of two black parents, being taught being black in America gave me a fucking identity crisis. And it's not their fault. They were just doing what they believed, like you are, was right. But the reality of the fact is, I believed every bad thing about black people that they told me, to the point that I limited myself when it came to doing shit with my life that I knew I could do, but I stopped myself because I'm black. And the fact that teaching being black in America to young black kids is seemingly a good idea to y'all and will have no bad implications is fucking crazy to me. Because that conversation usually always veers toward the negative things or the negative connotations that are put on black people to this day. And for black people to truly realize how far we've come, we need to remove every negative connotation that we as black people, white people, Spanish people, fucking whoever puts on it. No, I'm not saying that we need to protect black people and remove the stereotypes, because they be funny as fuck sometimes. But what I am saying is, when in relation to the conversation of being black in America, every bad thing needs to be thrown off the fucking table entirely. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing the phrase, you can either be a drug dealer, a basketball player, or a rapper, and seeing millions of black kids doing the shit and being good at none of them. Because you'd be surprised what majority of those black kids actually are interested in. Motherfuckers be out here into engineering and fucking stonemasonry and construction and shit like that, but no, they hold themselves back because they've been told by their peers and everybody that they grew up with that being black in America means that you really can't do much but be a drug dealer, a rapper, or a basketball player. Because I don't care who the fuck you are, what color you are, if you have a black kid and you're teaching them that being black in America is inherently a bad thing, you're doing a complete disservice to your child. Baba fucking Booey.
Woo. Oh dear, this last one, I really don't, nobody is trying to tell you to, like, you know, tell your child that being black child in America means like that you are limited, limited to some certain things. The truth is that you have to tell your children the truth, and being black in America is not easy, right? Especially when it comes to rape and season and all that. And wait, why is he talking like, you know, that it's only when you're a basketballer, rapper, or this thing? Wait, is he not seeing all the beautiful doctors and lawyers and nurses and all that? Like, most black people are doctors, lawyers, nurses, and the rest of them. Why is he using basketball, rapper, and all that as an example? I mean, engineers and the rest of it, man, there is no limit to it. I really understood where that woman is coming from, and I don't know why it is like mostly the men that are bashing her. I have no idea, but I am saying, why are they bashing her? I'm asking, why are they bashing her? Anyways, this is where I'm going to draw the curtain. Let me know what you all think in the comment section, and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.